What's going on, everyone? I'd like to continue this audiobook series, and this is the fifth in the series, as I'm sure you can tell from the title, and I'm only going to mention 3 books in this video, and that's because they're a little bit lengthy. But at the end of this video, I'd like to announce the winner of the giveaway for Lao Tzu's Tao Te Ching, which is the book right here. I had mentioned that I would be doing a giveaway in the previous video. I actually wanted to upload a video last month and do these monthly. It's just that, stuff happens and I don't get around to it. So I'm going to announce the winner at the end of this video. Stay tuned. If you're new to this series, you're not familiar with what this is all about, basically I go through various audiobooks that are driven towards spiritual growth, rising awareness, mental strength, physical strength, just being a badass, becoming a badass. That's sort of what all these books are about, mentally and physically, that is. So I'm going to go through 3 different books right now, and I'm going to give you a brief, short summary of what these books are about, and I may just rant or talk a little bit about the authors or something like that as we go. So, to kick things off, the first one I'd like to talk about is The War of Art by Stephen Pressfield. And this book is pretty cool. It talks a lot about mental energies, inward and outward energies, and time management. I really like the way Stephen gets into, there's a section of the book where he talks about the amateur versus the professional. And he basically refers to the professional as someone who is very skilled at time management and basically someone who continuously strives for perfection in what they do, be it through making their day-to-day decisions. They do everything optimally as possible, and this book wants you to be the professional. This book is driving you towards that direction. So if you're interested in that type of stuff, definitely have a listen. It's one that I think I've listened to like 3 times now, and it's pretty short. That's why you can kind of go through it again and again. After 3, I think I'm done with that. But it was definitely a good read or a good listen, while I went through it. So on to number 2, and this is the Emerald Tablets of Thoth. This one's really interesting, and I'm going to give you a quick little backstory. So Thoth is actually he is a reincarnation of another being or entity. Well, I guess it would be the same being or entity, but he was incarnated on Earth as Thoth. And then, actually, interesting enough, the 3rd incarnation of Thoth is Hermes Trismegistus, or Hermes the Thrice Great, or the Thrice Born. And Thoth and Hermes, apparently it's just the same individual, and these, or this person, or this entity, actually had disciples and followers, and had a school of knowledge that they developed over many, many decades, and throughout many, many lifetimes. So actually, the interesting thing is, I mentioned another book in a previous video in this series. It was the Kybalion, and the Kybalion was heavily influenced by Hermes Trismegistus, and he basically heavily influenced Stoicism and Hermeticism. He actually is highly recognized by Greek mythology, Roman mythology, and he was referred to as like the god of wisdom and knowledge. So it's pretty interesting, and he definitely came through in this particular book during his 2nd incarnation as Thoth. And this book is called The Emerald Tablets of Thoth. I'm going to put them up on the screen because they look pretty cool. What they actually are is like literally like the emerald material chiseled, and the book was basically inscribed or chiseled onto the emerald tablets. And these were only uncovered within the past few years. And I believe there was 10 tablets that were uncovered, and then there's a couple that are actually still being held and withdrawn from the public, and I assume one day those will come out. But from the tablets that have been released, they've been translated into English and many other languages, and I definitely recommend having a listen or having a read. I'm going to put the link in the description below to that. I think it's a free video on YouTube, or an audio narration on YouTube, and the person that did it has a YouTube channel and whatnot, so check out his channel as well. I'm sure he's got much more audiobooks that he's narrated. So that's number 2. So we're going to move on to number 3, and that is The Imitation of Christ by Thomas A. Kempis. Now, Thomas A. Kempis, he was actually, so he wrote the book, but he was assisted by a reverend, and I don't actually remember the reverend's name, but he basically assisted in the translation and creating this book. It has many biblical references, many biblical quotes as you go through the book, so it's interesting that way if you're interested in Christianity. Now, one thing I'd like to note about this book is I could rename the title from The Imitation of Christ to Embodying the Christ Consciousness, or no, I guess that pretty much works. Embodying the Christ Consciousness. What this book actually does, it doesn't so much focus on Jesus Christ himself, and I don't want you to think that this book is like trying to teach you how to be Jesus. That's not what it's about. It's trying to teach you how to access that knowledge, the wealth of knowledge that comes from the teachings of Jesus or any other man or prophet throughout history. We just mentioned Thoth a moment ago, or Hermes Trismegistus. He was considered another prophet, and he had disciples and followers and all that same thing, just like Jesus. So this book, The Imitation of Christ, should be viewed as just another one of those, another book in the series of books of rising awareness and trying to bring or elevate human consciousness. So what this book does, and what all these books tend to do in general in this series, and all similarly related books, they try to allow a person to delve down deep into the knowledge that's available, ancient wisdoms, and what it actually does is allow you to access the Akashic records. Now, the Akashic records are basically information that's been made available by humans or humanity throughout history, and it is sort of a deep wisdom and deep knowledge of the way the universe or multiverse or whatever you believe in functions and works as a whole, as one large organism. So you're basically accessing that knowledge by delving down deeper into these books and expanding your mind. So that's sort of why I create this series, but that's the purpose of it. So if you're like anti-Jesus or anti-Christianity or whatever, it's not like a religious book that gears you in that direction. It's a book that just tries to open your mind and increase your awareness to what I've just mentioned. So that's pretty much it. That is the third in the series, and I am done for these recommendations. I'd like to actually do this giveaway now for the Tao Te Ching by Lao Tzu, and this was done in the previous video. I did the giveaway in the previous video of this series. The winner of this book is Richard Corner. So I'm going to put his comment down below on the screen here. I actually think Richard was new to the channel when he made the comment, so I assume he's still subscribed, or I hope he's still subscribed. Otherwise, I don't know how you're going to get this, man. I will message you, though, and try to get your address. And congratulations on winning. Comment down below if you want me to do more of these videos or do more giveaways of books. Honestly, I had intended on doing lots of book giveaways, either audio or physical hard copies. So it's something I still would like to do going forward. I just need to see the interest from people, so like message me and give me the thumbs up or whatever you got to do. But otherwise, thanks for watching as always, and I will catch you again next time. Take it easy.